BBC Radio Berkshire, the Lighthouse Family and Ocean Drive. Bill Buckley in for Anne Diamond this morning. And my next guest is a Bracknell woman who has helped hundreds of Berkshire children with additional needs over the past 7 years. When she dropped her children off at school one day, she saw a child struggling to fit in with his fellow pupils. He would swear and be abusive, and he became something of an outcast as a result. Not only that, but the teachers, as you might imagine, found it difficult to cope with him. Well, Arti wanted to help, and over time has managed to transform that child, putting into practice her psychology degree, and has gone on, as I say, to help very many others. So well done you, and very nice to meet you.
Hello.
Thanks for coming in to see us, yeah. So one of those moments then, when you least expected, that ends up changing your life, would it be fair to say?
Definitely. I think my psychology degree has really helped a long way to understand people, understand children, and understand their behavior, and not to judge them for what they are doing. There is always a reason behind what they are doing, and try to nip it in the bud and try to understand rather than pass a judgment that the child is naughty or not good parenting.
What were you doing before that fateful day?
Well, I came into this country nearly 14 years ago, and before I came here I was working in HR in a big computer company in India, in Mumbai. Right. And when my husband Tanmay decided to take up a job in UK, I gave it all up and we came here. My children were very young, and
so you're a full-time mom and housewife to start with, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
For some time, because I don't have any family here.
No,
and
well, it's a full-time job, no question.
It is, and it was a major change. Knowing Bombay is probably really, really warm compared to. I came here in December, which I felt as though I was thrown in the freezer section.
Yes, I bet you did.
And and the long nights didn't help. I didn't know neighbours or anything. But come spring, everything changed. I could meet friends.
British people are friendly and relaxed when the weather's nice, and they keep to themselves and they walk quickly with their heads down when the weather's not nice. And I've always said, it's not that we're more standoffish than other nations, it's just we don't have their weather. If they had our weather, they'd be like us. Don't you think? Have you noticed this difference in British people in good weather and bad weather?
I would disagree there, because I've had absolutely fantastic friends, and in fact, weather is a brilliant way to start a conversation and make friends. We end up moaning about whatever.
There is that. It's always, you can always talk about it because it keeps on changing. Yeah. So anyway, you saw this boy having all these problems and everything. How could you then intervene? What did you actually do?
It was patience, putting boundaries in place.
But I mean, how did you get involved in the first place? You can't just walk in and say, "Hello, I'm now going to help this kid," can you?
No. I did. Before that, what I used to do is I used to work as a volunteer in the school to help children with who had reading and writing issues. So who was struggling basically. So because I did not drive then, so it was helpful for me to sit there till my daughter finished. She was really young.
Yeah.
So so the head teacher knew me. So when I told him about my background and what I had done, he was really pleased. He said, "Do you want to give it a try?"
Right.
And I thought it was a challenge, and soon they offered me a job, and I was his TA.
Right. And what did you do with him? How did you change him?
I won't say changed him, because there were more psychological and emotional issues involved, but there were boundaries that were put in place. I had a good relationship with the mom, and I helped her put boundaries at work, told the school how we should give to quiet time for him, rather than if he's having a meltdown, rather than putting more pressure on him, giving him some quiet time, his own workstation, which would help him relax, and instead of overstimulating him with more questions and strategies, sometimes that does not work. He needs to be given time to calm down.
And little by little he became more sociable, the swearing reduced and so forth?
What happened was, when he felt the meltdown coming, he would walk into a separate area.
I see.
So he was able to understand what was happening. The children knew that, once he's there, then you don't go in and trouble him. So it did help. Slowly, it becomes an attention attracting thing too. So
Right.
it all helped.
And this was a fair time ago. So are you still in touch with him now?
No,
Because he'd be a teenager now.
he
wouldn't
would be a teenager.
Yeah.
A lot of children who I worked with as a part of Dingley, I am still in contact with. But because I moved out of Bracknell, I have no contact with.
Right.
And I think they moved away and he was supposed to go and live with his dad. So
But when you last saw him, things were going well.
things were
you'd
going
had
well.
a success.
I did meet Mum in Sainsbury's and she told me
that's
it was
good.
going
That's
well.
good. Well, we'll find out in a minute how that turned out from one child into hundreds of children. It's a fascinating story. It will continue, but now...
Your Royal Ascot station.
BBC Radio Berkshire.
Travel you trust.
For this afternoon, he'll be in no doubt before the end of this hour to tell us what's coming up in his programme. Arti is my guest today. We've learned how she helped a boy having problems at school 7 years ago. These days, she helps many, many children and has her very own centre. So how do we get from there to here? What happened? What was the story?
In 2004, I moved to Wokingham in search of good secondary schools for my children as they were growing up. And I saw an ad for a position of Deputy Manager for Dingley Family and Specialist Early Years Centres. And Googled it a bit, found out it was working with children with additional needs, which that's what my passion is all about.
Yeah.
And I applied, and 7 years since I'm here. It's been a long, if you look at it, 7 years, but I think it just flew
It's flown
past.
by. So tell us a bit more. I mean, the centre's done incredibly well, hasn't it? It's won the Queen's Award for Voluntary Service.
It has.
That's like the MBE equivalent of volunteer groups,
Yes,
isn't it? Which
it
is
is.
fantastic. But talk me around it. If I came, what would I see?
Okay. Dingley, I'll call it Dingley for short.
Yeah.
Dingley has got 3 centres, one in Wokingham, one in Reading and one in West Berks. So we try and cover the whole of Berkshire. We have, it is a centre for children with additional needs. It's a specialist centre. Children with any kind of needs come to us.
But what's actually there then, if I
Yes,
came?
I'll
Tell me-
just come to that.
Yeah.
Children coming to us are between 0 and 5 years.
So I'd see lots of very young children.
Yes.
I'd see some grown-ups.
It's only up to 5.
But their parents or the staff there,
Parents,
they'd be
yes.
there?
So what
Yeah.
makes us unique is we support our parents, and we have a very close relationship. When the parents have nowhere else to go, they build up a relationship with us, and we provide support to them.
Right.
So
Are
it is
there
like
different rooms? Are there toys? Are there...
it depends from centre to
blackboards,
centre.
are
It's like any other preschool. Lots of toys, lots of free play around. We have got a flexible indoor and outdoor setting, so they can go out and play. We have got you name the toy and we have it. We've got a sensory room which a lot of our grant givers like Berkshire Community Fund and Wokingham Lions have given us, and Masons have given us money to buy equipment for the children, because some of our children need sensory toys to help them calm down, which are really expensive.
All right, hear more about it in just a moment. Stay there, Arti, because we're crossing back now to for Anne Diamond until 1 o'clock. Talking at the moment to Arti Devatia, who is the manager of the Dingley Family and Specialist Early Years Centre. Tell me about one or two of the children who've come your way and who you've managed to change and help. Which ones stick out in your memory? Or even current ones, of course.
Yeah. One child who still I can remember, because I still have regular chats with him, is this child who came to us. He was about 2.5 years old. He was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. He could not even sit without support. Mom needed a lot of help, and I think parents need that support when they're just told that the child has got needs.
Yeah. Well, often they'll have many other responsibilities, maybe other children as well to look after.
Exactly.
Their needs have got to be thought of,
Yes,
you know.
because siblings always end up getting
pushed out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So this child, we put in. We had very good relationship with the OT and the physio, so had lots of exercises for him, put splints on him to help him walk. Started with non-verbal communication, and today he is, I think, 10, 11, and he still regularly calls me up, and he loves saying that he loves me, Arti. So, yeah, he is... Mum, in fact, has started working with us now. She's did her NVQ3.
Because you must need a lot of staff. I mean, this sounds very labour-intensive.
Yes, what we support 35 families at present, and I have 10 children in every session and about 5 staff. So we have a very, very high adult-child ratio so that we can support the children.
And if you weren't doing this, the children just wouldn't get this then? Because there would be an argument to say, why isn't this being provided by the state, wouldn't there? Clearly these children need this kind of support.
The children need this support. There is nothing else like Dingley at present. I have parents and families coming from Bracknell and Hampshire because there isn't other support available, especially for the initial foundation years, and helping them start school or keep making them ready for school. There isn't anything.
Is it better done as a charity, or should it be, or could it be absorbed into the NHS?
We do get a lot of children from, or 90% of the children come from NHS, but we do not get any funding. It would be nice to get some funding from NHS, but and from the government, especially being told that vulnerable children, the funding will not get cut. Funding has always been an issue, and it's a struggle every year, which is not right.
So how much do you need to run the centre, and where do you get that money from?
We do need the salaries itself cost us around 70,000 a year. Wokingham Council at present gives us 30,000, and rest is from fundraising and grants. And we do fundraising regularly, and applying for grants is difficult because the grant givers are not happy to provide for core funding and salary costs. So
what do they prefer to provide for then?
Equipment.
Why is that?
Because it's a visual satisfaction, the money, they can see the money.
Oh, they can see where it's going, yes.
It's going.
Direct cause and effect, yes.
Although we don't have any admin staff, so it would have been easy to even check that, but I think they do prefer.
Well, if anybody would like to help you, no doubt you would bite their hand off. Who can blame you? What should people do?
If anybody listening could want to make a donation towards a really good cause, they could go on our website.
Or come along and volunteer, maybe? You're looking for more people?
We do have lots of volunteers, but we are always looking for more volunteers too. But if they go on our website, www.dingley.org.uk, and there is gift aid, there is other ways of donating to us, and it will be really grateful.
Dingley is spelled Dingley. Dingley.org.uk. Your work is amazing, and you make people like me feel very shallow as we sit here rabbiting away, for money. Good for you. Very nice to meet you, Arti. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.